We are back again for another week. League and more. The Colts are flying high. Unfortunately, the Cup side going down a tight contest against the other affiliate Storm side, the Falcons. Gavin Payne joins me again. Gav, Colts, how good?
Yeah, look, they're going really well, aren't they? They're right up there. They're on a bit of a winning streak at the moment, and full of confidence.
We spoke to Mark Lydon about the 94% completion rate. I mean, this is almost unheard of in rugby league.
That's outstanding. I just had a look at the results as well and the tries they scored, and they were really first class. They were really, really good in that first half.
All right, mate. Tonight's show, we're going to ask some tough questions of all our guests, and you're not going to be not going to be spared, my friend. So my question to you, Gav Payne, this is sets the themes, is do you wake up or do your eyes open first?
Your eyes open first.
There, you heard it here first. League and more. We're back with more soon. All right, Gav, as we mentioned, the Tigers took on the Falcons last weekend here at Tully Workwear Stadium. As we go through the highlights of that game, I thought, obviously, it's a tough ask against the Falcons. Todd Murphy, always a dynamic influence in the game, and his kicking game was certainly on point here. But, yeah, I thought it was a great contest considering the disruptions the Tigers had during the last, month, basically.
Yeah, and that's the difficult part of being the affiliate clubs, isn't it? You know, you're always going to have some disruption at some stage.
Well, we see kicking. Look, I mean, the bounce of the ball. What chance you got against something like that? And they just take every opportunity, and that's the thing about football, isn't it? You just got to be able to get on top of the ball. I love the enterprise here and using the full length of the field here as he comes back. Zach Taipapa goes over and scores a try. He's made every post a winner since he's come in.
Yeah, I had a bit to do with Zach in under 20s a few years ago. Good kid and a good footballer as well. So congratulations to him.
Yeah, and looking run here, and I just love the netballs coming into the competition as well. So a couple of ones over the top here and a good show and go. The Tigers, do we start playing more width?
Yeah, I think some of the opposing forward packs are probably a little bit bigger than the Tigers ones, and perhaps a bit more seasoned as well.
Yeah.
So, you know, it doesn't hurt. We've got good players like Purcell there going over to score a try, and, you know, obviously saw Zach Taipapa out wide. And the Melbourne contingent as well. Yeah,
unfortunately, Michael Purcell coming down with an injury. And unfortunately, in the second half, the Falcons just too good once again on the back of a kick here. And, yeah, you just got to try and take these ones, haven't you? But flies high, nice try, that one.
Yeah, you know, I'm hoping that Zach was communicating with his fullback there, just to let him know that there was some pressure coming through. It didn't look that way because Michael didn't get off the ground at all to try and attempt that catch.
And a good run there by the Falcons player, trying to run between two shoulders of players, and he always got a chance here. At this point here now, the Tigers actually had a chance to come back into this game here. That's just a big charging run there from the Tigers, and I think they sort of lifted them, but unfortunately the Falcons just came back again with a kick.
At that stage, mate, I'm pretty sure it's 18 all.
Yes.
So, you know, it's 60 minutes into the game. Another kick here that Gavin scores in their corner, and then they just they got a consolation try here at the end as well.
All right, and unfortunately they come away with a win, the Falcons. So the Storm, just that last try, it took an eternity for the ball to get down. When are you held? When are you held up?
When the ref says you're held, mate.
No offence. Belinda Sleeman back refereeing, so obviously great to see her back blowing the whistle. This weekend they take on the Seagulls. Last weekend the Seagulls were undefeated before they took on their fellow affiliate in the Broncos against the South Logan Magpies. And big day, Mitch Cronin Memorial Day here. Obviously Mitch Cronin passing away last year, so a big crowd at B&D Cougar Oval here. But yeah, it was end-to-end rugby league. It was probably the game of the season, nearly.
Yeah, look, it probably was, you know, and as you mentioned, it was Wynnum's first loss, and I think it was a last-minute loss. We'll see that in a moment. But yeah, you know, you've got to go out and compete against the best sides if you want to be the best, and you know, South Logan obviously did that very well here to start today.
Yeah, again, the bounce of the ball. South Logan Magpies, they've always struggled in the years because of injury. John Buchanan actually used to coach them back there. Steve Bretherton's the coach there now. And Adam Brightson came up against the South Logan Magpies wanting to continue their undefeated run. And that man, Jaden Beryl, he's the man they're going to have to watch out for this weekend.
Yeah, very strong from dummy half, isn't he? He gets that it's a good try there. He gets that determination, and once you get that, you've got to be strong on your line.
Yeah, Lachlan Cooper had a great game. He was the actual player of the game, and I think it was a field goal at one point there. They actually got the Seagulls back in front. At BMD Cougar, have you played there before?
Yes.
How daunting is it with the chook pen?
Sun in your eyes, chook pen at your back. Not good.
How good? How do the Tigers beat the Seagulls, mate?
I think it's going to be a tough ask. No, there's no doubt. Winner will be smarting because of that loss. Obviously, when you've won 9 in a row and then you get rolled, you always hopefully come back a bit stronger. That's what their coach will be hoping as well. Obviously, Johnny Buchanan will be hoping that they don't come back as strongly and they're a bit lackadaisical as well. But same as any game, John, you've got to dominate, in the middle and then let your speed guys out wide do their stuff. So there's no real secrets. It's been played the same way for 100 years.
Yeah, the try that I mentioned about it when the Brisbane Tigers and the Falcons highlights clip was throwing it wide and unorthodox football. Is there a time to actually try and wear down oppositions by keeping the ball alive and chancing your hand? I know we talk about catch-up football during a game, but now we're in catch-up football for the season.
Well, these days, with the new rule interpretations and the high tackles and so forth, not so much the high tackles, but if you can get quick play of the balls and you can get a retreating defence, and this is always the way the game's been played, but even more so now because of the defence doesn't get back that 10 metres, then you get a 6 again, so you're at them again for another 6. That might be 2 or 3 tackles into the set, so they've got to do 9, 10 tackles in a row, and that takes it out of you. 1 set in a row, 2 sets in a row is hard.
And we talk about the Tigers playing the full 80 minutes, and this is exactly what the South Logan Magpies did. They were down by 1 goal here, thanks to Jack Caponalo, and they just sent it out to the left-hand side here. And Corey Yates, he started the movement in this one, scores in the corner. 80th minute, this is the last play of the game, Cinderella story, goes over and scores. And a great end to a great contest, but it tells you never give up.
Absolutely. They believed in their ability to finish the match. They threw the ball around. I hadn't seen that try before just then. So, they threw the ball around, had faith in their ability to be able to get the ball to the right place at the right time, and they did that.
Catch and pass sometimes. Ball goes quicker than the feet, so the score try this weekend. All right, mate. Well, we got a Galaxy of Stars. We're going to come back straight away with what his thoughts on against the Seagulls this weekend, and that is ISC head coach John Buchanan. Back soon. All right, welcome back to League and More. As always, we have head coach of the Intrust Super Cup side, John Buchanan, joining us. And JB, I could probably ask you the same questions and you'd probably give me the same answers. But let's talk about the positives coming out of the game against the Falcons at home here. Disrupted weeks leading up to this game as well with the 2 affiliates from Melbourne Storm. You must have been pleased around about the 60-minute mark. You thought, hang on a second, we're in with a chance.
Yeah, mate, we did some really good stuff on the weekend, but again, we just had some lapses at certain stages of the game. We didn't have enough polish that we needed to either get to the end of our sets or build some pressure to put on the opposition, which probably in the end cost us. So obviously, again, and I hate to harp on it, but we lost 2 players again in the first 23 minutes, and all of a sudden we're under pressure to have guys play a lot more game time than they normally would.
Sometimes it's things called luck. I think 4 of the tries were from kicks from the Falcons, and the bounce of the ball at 2 occasions just wasn't fair.
Yeah, they scored 3 from kicks, which was frustrating.
Yep.
But, again, there's probably 2 of them I thought we could have cleaned up or had a little bit more urgency to get to. And, one, they probably got the result that they deserve. So, yeah, frustrating, but it's probably just where we're at the moment. We're working hard, but we're just not getting the result.
A lot of the players you're bringing up and trialling are playing with it. Zeb Tavia again goes over and scores a try, so he's taking the old cliche to both hands, and you must be pleased with these guys who are just really relishing the opportunity.
Yeah, definitely. Zach's been he's been a ball energy training since day one, and to give him his opportunity there a month or so ago, and he's held that spot now for the last month, and he's doing a really good job. But a number of guys are getting. Sam Elliott's been really consistent for us in the BRL comp with his feeder club team, and he deserved an opportunity. And I thought he was really good for us on the weekend. Cameron Torpey, I know he got injured early, but I thought his first 12 minutes that he was on the field is probably the best front row on the field through that period. Unfortunately, he's copped a pretty nasty injury out of that game. So, to see those guys, take their chances has been pleasing. But we we've got to find a few more again this week.
Just something that dawned on me during the weekend is that, dude, the Rugby League in Queensland, just the 16 coaches of the NRL, do they realise they have a big say on what side is selected all the way down to opens each week? Because basically it filters all the way down. I know it's the NRL's a pinnacle competition, but do they realise that what they do is a domino effect all the way through the open grades?
Yeah, I can't answer for them in
But you know what I mean?
John.
Because what you do is...
Yeah, exactly. Unfortunately, whatever happens at the NRL level that with your affiliation club impacts right for us. It impacts right back down to Carina under-20s at the moment, and Bulimba reserve BRL side, reserve side as well. So, yeah, look, it is what it is. It's been around for a few years now. It's it's the top echelon of the game, isn't it? The NRL. So, you know, they probably get priority over all of us.
All right, this weekend you're up against the Seagulls. Last minute loss last weekend. Their first defeat of the season, so they'll come out a little bit cranky. This is a Cougar Eye Oval. What do? You take out you put the blinkers on and you don't even look at the scoreboard and you don't even look at who you're up against in this one?
Oh, look, we know how good a footy team they are. They're going to be even tougher this week coming off their first loss. I would have rather go down there with them undefeated, to be honest. We just prepare like we do every week.
But you'd have to lift, surely, against the top side.
Oh, no doubt. I think we'd be a bit dirty too. I thought we played some pretty good footy against them when we played them here, and they just got us in the end. But
because you're leading at half time, though, weren't you?
Yeah, we were again. Yeah, we've done that a few times, so we need to find a way to be leading at the end of the 80. So, we prepare the same, mate. It's another week. It's a good footy team, which most of them are in this comp, and we'll get into it.
All right. This week on League More, I've been asking some very tough questions, JB, and are you ready for yours?
Yes.
Why aren't there bulletproof pants?
Well, no. Is this a trick question or?
No, I'm just curious. Why aren't there bulletproof pants? You would think that would be one of the most vital parts of the human body that would need to be protected from a bullet.
Yeah, I can't answer that, John.
Okay. That's for you, the punters out there, mate. All the best this weekend.
Thank you.
All right, I'm very nervous about this next interview because basically every time we interview a cup player, they seem to get hurt. Michael Purcell last week. Solomon Faataape joins us. I should have told you that after the interview, mate. But anyway, you've come in here. Now, this is your first year of the Intrust Super Cup. I've seen you play the BRO. You're an outstanding player, very dynamic. You love the ball in the hand. You love running the footy. Difference between that and cup at the moment?
I wouldn't say there's much difference, probably just speed.
Okay.
I mean, playing against grown men is always a challenge, but the contact in BRL and Intrust is the same, but just speed, the flow of the game, and just skill levels much higher, so that's all I got to say.
So when did you get your first opportunity? How did you feel that day JB said, mate, you're playing cup?
Oh, funny story. So I was down here trialling with the 20s against Redcliffe Dolphins, and so played the full game, and then after the game, Roscoe, our team manager, spoke to me. He's like, JB's on the phone. He wants to talk to you. I was like, yeah, sweet. And then he calls me, and then he's just like, can you get some clothes and stuff and head to the airport? We might need you. I was like, yeah, sweet.
To the airport?
Yeah.
Is that the cave one when everybody went?
Yeah.
Okay.
That game. And then called mum and dad, and then mum and dad was just like, yeah, sweet. So called them, met them at Coles. Mum ran into the shops, got me some deodorant, shampoo, spare undies, toothpaste, toothbrush, chucked it all in my bag. Dad dropped me straight to the airport. And then, just...
You don't have any of that stuff at home?
Oh, no. I just came straight from my game. And so we had to quickly go to the airport. And so I just went to the airport, hopped on the plane, flew over. Kev picked me up from the airport, slept, played the next day.
So what were you thinking about on the plane?
Oh, nothing. I crashed out.
Really?
Yeah, I was asleep. I was gone. I was knocked out. I was tired from our game before. We didn't play too well, and I was still thinking about that game. And then got there, and then Kev was just like, "Yeah, let me know when you're there." And then
And that was a really good game of footy. That showed a lot of character there from the Brisbane Tigers up against the Townsville Black Hawks because of the big muck around and whatnot. It wasn't a disgrace. It was a fantastic outing. And I think the following week you might end up beating Burleigh on the back of
Yeah. So it was a tough game. I mean, the scoreline doesn't really describe how we played.
Yeah.
For a long period of time. It was very close, but then at the end it just kind of ran away from us. But then the next week, they put 50 on Burleigh, I'm pretty sure. So the boys turned up.
All right. This weekend you're up against the Wynnum Manly Seagulls. If you get selected, obviously in the ISC side, but it all depends on what happens with. I'm going to go through it. But you played them in the Brisbane Rugby League competition and the Wynnum Juniors and alike. They're a tough assignment. They're big up the middle. They like to roll it, quick play the ball. You need to win the wrestle in this one. Yeah,
need big boys in the middle. Outstanding backs as well. Can't take that away from them. Halves are crazy good all around the park. They're a really solid side. So we just need to be on our A game the whole 80 minutes. And that's where we kind of just struggled playing the whole 80.
Yeah.
So,
You're spot on, actually, because we've seen time and time again that sometimes at 10 minutes either side of half time, it just seems to be 20 minutes. Sometimes it's in a big chunk, sometimes it's 5 minutes here, 5 minutes there. But so if you can get it all together.
Yeah.
And against the Seagulls, you're all lift, don't you? Because you're playing a side up until last weekend, we're undefeated.
Yeah. They're top of the table.
So they're beatable.
Team to beat this year. I mean, they were grand finalists last year, so. Yep. But, man, they're good every year, and it's always good to get a win against Wynnum because, I mean, top team, and if you're going good against them, then you can go good against any team.
All right. Obviously, this weekend you're playing against them. You won't be wearing the hat, mate. Can you just take your hat off for a second, mate? Because look at the salad on this guy. How good's that?
Need a haircut, not looking too good.
Oh, I don't know. I wouldn't mind that at all, mate. You can whack it back on, see how you go. All right. Superstitions before you play?
None at all.
Any tunes you like to play?
I like a bit of Christian music.
Yeah.
Calms the soul a bit.
Right.
Calm before the storm. And then once we get into it, then take the earphones out and then switch on. Okay, all right. And how do you go in the first 5 minutes, mate? Do you want to get that ball as quick as you can? I always try to make... it takes me a bit to wake up because I'm on the field and then I see one big hit. I'm like, oh, geez, I'm here. I'm on the field.
Well, maybe you should play some satanic music instead. Anyway, I was just saying.
Maybe not.
Maybe not. There you go. Now, this week on League More, we're asking some pretty tough questions, mate. So I want to know if you can tell me, has anyone ever seen somebody kill two birds with one stone?
Has anyone said that? Or have I seen it?
Yeah.
Both? I've heard someone say it to me, but never seen it.
So it mightn't be true. There you go. Solomona Faataape, all the best this weekend, mate. Thank you. Well, the Colts, they're on fire. They sit second on the ladder at the moment in the Hastings Deering Colts competition, and a good win last weekend against the Falcons. Joining me is their head coach, Mark Lydon. We talk about completions, mate. Almost got it's like a 300 playing 10-pin bowling, almost got the 100% for one half.
Yeah, first half I think we completed 92%, and I think the only one we didn't complete was when young Jonah Peasant didn't find touch. So no, look, it's a fair effort if you hang on to the footy, especially at 21 years of age. You're going to win footy games, and I think we led 28-6. So the proof's in the pudding. We hang on to the footy, you go all
right. And you must be very happy with obviously 80 minutes. But you talk about young Parrott having a blinder, and then we talk about Colesy, the back end, getting a double. But it was across the board from 17 down to 1.
Yeah, look, we were pretty good. You're right, we're pretty good across the park. I thought our back five were really good for us, getting us out of our own end. I had a little crack at them the week before. I said, your job's to help, not hinder. And when you start dropping footies coming out of your end, it hurts the front rows, and they got every right to give you a spray. So to their credit, I think we had 9 errors, but none of them were double errors for the game. It was one error here, one error there. No one had a double error. It was really pleasing.
All right, so they learn from the mistakes. That's what you want. Totally.
Yeah.
Eli Dawn as well?
Yeah, Eli's been fantastic for us. He's playing busted, and we probably won't have him for the next 4 weeks. He needs a rest. He's got, I think they call it osteopupus. I think that's the name of it. What it means is a groin injury. So we've got to rest him up for 3 or 4 weeks. So we decided this is the time to do it, and someone will come in and take his spot, and they will get an opportunity.
All right, don't worry about the ladder, of course, but this weekend you're going to Townsville to take on the Black Hawks. I don't understand the draw, but anyway, that's the way it goes. But you're going out there by yourselves. You're not going to go up there with the cup players. Does that make it a little bit different for you in your preparation?
Oh, no, not really. The only thing different is we fly Friday night and play Saturday and come home Saturday night. So I think that's a better preparation. We go up there on on a Saturday morning early and we play that afternoon, I think that's a rushed preparation, and then you've got to look after 17, 21-year-olds in Townsville, what I really didn't want to do. So it's worked out for the best, and our job's to go up there and get the 2 points, and if they want to have a drink, they can have that when they get back in Brisbane.
All right, well, let's just talk about the trip up there against Townsville early in the morning. You get up, the boys are obviously, did they get much sleep the night before? I mean, do you go around lights out? Do you have the stick?
Mate, they're grown men, really. There's no curfew or anything like that on them, and they make their own decisions. If they make the wrong one, well, they won't be in the team. It's pretty simple, and they know that. So at the end of the day, I'm all about giving them a little bit of ownership and accountability, and they need to take that.
They'll need that against the Blackhawks?
They're a good side. I've just finished doing a review on them, and they're a very good side, actually. They gave, or gave, I should say, Central Queensland a bit of a touch-up on the weekend, and they're sitting just behind us. They're big, they're aggressive, and they play with some really nice shape, a lot of block to block stuff. So they were fairly well coached, so I'm looking forward to the challenge.
How do you better the completion rates that you've got? Obviously 100%, it's a stupid question, but you just want them to keep completing and don't undo what you've done.
Well, we set a standard, I think, with that, when we've proved we can do it. So, we're all about standards. So, we set that standard and we want to stick to it. So, if we fall below it, well, then I've probably got to come down on them. So.
All right, very good. This week on League and More, we're going to ask some tough questions, and I'm going to put one to you. I just want to get a comment on you, Mark Lydon. Do you know any twins at all?
Do I know any twins?
Yeah.
Twins? No, I don't. Why is that?
I was just wondering whether twins, do they realise one of them wasn't planned?
What? That'd do me. That will do me.
No?
I tell you about twins. I coached a couple of twins, Ryan and Aaron Brown, years ago at Wynnum, and I gave the wrong feedback to the wrong player. I couldn't tell them apart. It took me ages to tell them apart. Yeah,
it's pretty, and I'm lucky to be alive now because our producer's a twin, so we'll see how we go. That probably end up on the cutting room floor. All right, anyway, all the best this weekend. Congratulations, second on the ladder. But just about halfway through the season?
We are halfway. We've got 8 games to go.
All right then, all the best on the weekend, no more injuries. And just quickly, those players who don't go up, will a few drop back to BRL, or are you going to
get some will go. I don't know what our side's going to be yet. It depends on, Cup's got a few injuries. So we had 3 in Cup last week. Yeah. So they could drop back depending on what happens with Melbourne. Obviously, that will send players back to the local BRL. I think Karina's got a bye this week, and Balimba, they play, so they could get some players back. It's a bit early in the week to say at the moment.
All right, all the best on the weekend, mate. Cheers.
Thank you.
All right, we are blessed to have one of the big men of the Colts side. They're sitting second on the ladder. It's Jacob Bartlett. Jacob, how are you, mate?
Good, thanks. How are you?
Good. That's an interesting hairdo you got there, mate. Yep. But asked me to mention, why? He wants to know about your hair, because he can't do it. And exactly. I'm not talking about here, it's here. He came on the front of his face here. Hey, listen, in all seriousness, mate, the Colts, they're the superstars of the club at the moment. You're going well. You're going about your business nicely. You built, ever since the Winner-Manly game, you guys are making pretty much every post a winner. You must be pretty pleased.
Yeah, pretty pleased with the boys. The boys are doing real good. Getting some W's under our belt, so yeah.
And the pleasing part, speaking to Mark Lydon, isn't it just one player isn't sticking out, it's across the board. You must be, and that's culture, and that's teammates and teamwork that you try and support each other. It's not one man running the competition or running the game.
Yeah, definitely. We've got everyone from 1 to 13, even the interchange, so everyone's doing their job.
All right, mate. So just saying, if the number 6 went down, you'd be able to play Taipapa?
Definitely. Yeah. Got
a
few passing games in me, so.
Have you really?
Yeah.
Can you flick pass?
Yeah, definitely.
Right. One thing I've noticed lately in some competition, there's been the mousetrap. Have you guys been practicing that yet?
No, not yet. I haven't seen the boys do it, so.
I think you should.
Yeah, definitely.
Hey, last weekend, big win. Completion rates was good. Obviously, Mark Lydon would have been happy at half time here. Yep. So, what do you do to try and improve yourself, mate?
I guess just know my job, do my job to the best I can, and get the front forward there.
You've been asking him for the forwards to be more responsible and more accountable. Yep. Obviously, standing up against these bigger packs.
Yeah, definitely.
How do you go game time? How do you get angry?
Depends what music I listen to on the day, actually. Yeah, so
So if you're listening to Celine Dion, you're going to go out there and probably, not do much?
Probably just act like a winger. Run around business sites or something like that.
Gavin Payne's a winger, but anyway, that's another story. So what are you, what do you listen to? Oh, yeah.
Well, I've been listening to a lot of Australian stuff, so like new hip hop stuff in Australia.
All right.
So yeah, I
Fantastic.
don't mind that.
Speaking of which, you're obviously going up to Townsville this weekend.
Yep.
Who's not allowed to sing on the plane? What's a good chance the Air Marshal's going to punt him for being a bad singer?
Probably Jordan Panquet.
Really? Is he really bad?
Yeah. Oh, he likes that song "Kung Fu Fighting."
Oh, you're from Carl Douglas.
Yeah, loves that song. Loves that song.
I know who sings that. There you go, from the 1970s. Carl Douglas. All right, very good. Townsville, what do you know about him, mate?
I don't know too much myself personally. I mean, Gliddon going to talk about it tonight when we have a team meeting. So
basically, the coach you need to listen to him. He's done his homework. So in that regard, yourself, do you enjoy the carries?
yeah, love it.
All right.
Love it, especially off kickoff. That's
On
the
the
best
kickoff.
one. Yeah.
And where do you stand? Are you right on the chalk?
Sorry.
Are you right on the chalk from the for the carry up? From
Yeah.
the dead ball line. Away you
Don't
go.
mind it.
All right. And yourself, how do you end up at the Tigers, brother?
So I was playing down in Melbourne, so I'm a Melbourne boy. The way with COVID went, they were going to cancel the season for 21s.
Yep.
And then opportunity came up with my manager. Spoke to Mark and JB, and they gave me the opportunity here.
Rugby league isn't. There's not a lot of players that are actually born in Melbourne and come up playing rugby league. Can you tell us about the rugby league competition in Melbourne in the junior grades?
Yeah, it's not too bad. Everyone's underrated down there. We've got good players down there.
Right.
But we just need the right
Because
direction.
a few years ago, I think they got it in the finals.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah. So because I think
There's a few big boys, big names in that team too. You had Cooper Johns, Tino.
Yep.
So yeah.
All right. You got another year of Colts yet?
No, this is my last year.
Last
so
year.
I just turned 21 Sunday previously.
Okay. So what'd you have for your birthday?
Didn't really do much. It was just a quiet one,
Did you get any presents?
Yeah, got a few shoes.
A few shoes. Well, like 3.
Few shoes, few clothes. So yeah.
Right, very good. All right, mate. Listen, this weekend, big weekend. Obviously, you keep the momentum rolling against the Black Hawks. So it's going to be hot up there. Warm conditions. You fly up. Obviously, who don't you want to be monkeying with on Friday night? Who's going to keep you up all night?
Again, Jordan Panquet.
Really? What's wrong with this man?
Oh, well, I work with him, so.
Oh, do you?
We're together literally every day, so it's just like.
Really? Where do you work?
We're Young Gun Containers.
Oh, okay. Good
Yeah.
one. All right.
Not too
You ever
bad.
thought about locking him in one?
Maybe a few times.
Always a pleasure to talk to the future of the Brisbane Tigers here. Is none other than Josh Bartlett. Keep an eye out for this player. He actually he come from Melbourne. You never know, one day he might be wearing the Storm jersey. All the best, buddy.
Yes, thank you.
Welcome back to League and More. I'm joined by special guest this afternoon, Kev Ryan. Now, Kev's been around East for many, many years in various roles. Kev, welcome, firstly. We'll go into a little bit of the association that you and I have had for a few years here, but if you can start, Kev, just let us know, how did you get involved in the game as such?
Started with the juniors in 2005. Working with Scott Tronk and Brett Leman as the manager on that side. And following year, we started off, I didn't finish that year, and started off again here in 2006.
Yeah.
So it's been a continual rolling career with the Tigers, and it's been interesting.
What was the catalyst, Kev, for you getting involved again? Because I don't think you have any sons that played as such.
No, I don't. I have 2 lovely daughters. But when I was working with Tronky and Brett, we had a good group at that stage, and we got into a grand final, which was kind of nice in the first year. But after a spell, I also had Des Morris as a neighbour, so he was, instrumental, I guess, in me coming back, and back to the senior club.
Yep.
And it's just moved on from there.
And reasonably persuasive as well, was Des?
Oh, as he can be. Yes, but no, it's been good. We also, we played touch together for years with, Langy and Brad Backer and guys like that.
Yep.
So there was a tendency for me to want to be back here.
Okay.
At any rate, because I'd left a long time prior to that, in the late 60s.
Yep. So you're back down at the seniors. What was the process there? What were the highlights, I suppose, or the lowlights going forward?
I've only I'm with the seniors with the Intrust side. So I started in 2020 with them with Craig Hodges and Nathan Cross.
Yep.
Of course, COVID put an end to that. But I've backed up this year with the Intrust. Prior to that, the whole of the time I was with the Hastings Deering Colts, or what used to be the Fogs Colts Challenge.
Yep.
So and had a lot of success. I've been very fortunate. I've worked with some great coaches,
Yep.
good blokes. One of whom sits beside me now, but there are plenty of others. There's and most. There's Matty Church is now coach of the PNG Hunters.
Yep.
Peter Edwards, Scotty. A whole stack of people.
Goffey.
Yeah, Ian Goff and Josh Goff.
Yep.
Ty Ellery. The list goes on. Jack Peoples. It goes on, and they've been terrific to work with.
Yeah.
But I've also had I've been very, very fortunate. I've had terrific support staff. We've had good S&C people, and it's not without its moments.
Yep.
But
Yep.
It's good.
So you've been predominantly a manager during those periods?
Yes. Yeah. Only a manager.
And mate, can you run us through a typical game day scenario, perhaps, or a week scenario, a week in the life of a manager at the Intrust Cup level?
At the Intrust Cup level, it's a little different because we're feeding to the storm.
Yep.
So the team is not, set in concrete until like last week, the day before, or the day of. So you've got there's a process. I'll get a little bit toey about it. I set up jerseys and shorts and stuff early, and then that might get put into some disarray with the change in teams. But it's set that up the day before, hopefully. If we travel, certainly the day before, and then the head trainer Matt Williamson and I make sure we get our gear loaded and ready to go on a travel, whether it's air or bus trip. So really the thrust of the whole thing is that, or in my mind anyway, is that the role of a manager is just simply to facilitate players getting ready with the least amount of hassle. So that doesn't always happen.
Yeah.
It doesn't always happen, let me tell you. But, the least amount of hassle, they get on the field as the coach wants them, when he wants them.
Yep.
Yeah.
I remember in my playing days, we had the great Pat O'Brien was manager with Johnny Lang and those guys for a long time, Pat. He picked me up, we were on an away trip in the Queensland Cup as it was in those days. We got 3 quarters of the way to the airport and I said, "You got everything, Pat?" Yes, Gav, got everything, got the jerseys. We did a U-turn, bolted back to the club, picked up the jerseys and made it back to catch the flight. Any sort of hiccups in Kev Ryan's program and that regard?
Oh yeah, there have been recently. Jerseys are always they're a funny thing. Players like them tight, others like them not so tight, and there's always a balance. I like to make sure that I can get them tight, and unfortunately, what I've done is I've probably gone too far the other way. I've sort of given them a choice of 2. You should only choice of 1 is ideal. So from week to week it changes. But no, that's make sure we set the room up properly. Everyone knows where they are. They walk in and their gear's there, and it's their size.
Yep.
So
you're not on the sewing machine between weeks, depending on who's in which jersey.
No, I haven't been. But there's been many occasions I've been restringing shorts. Sort of an hour before the game. But it's fortunately this year is not one of those times.
Yep. So tell us about some of the teams and some of the successes that you've had with those teams and being involved with premiership winning sides and so forth.
Yeah, that first in the juniors it was a 17A Prems, and Scott and Brett were coaches, and we got into a grand final in that first year. Dave Tyrrell was on the wing, which is a bit surprising to some people considering he finished his career as a prop. And he went on to debut the next year.
Well, he played wing down here as well, didn't he?
Yeah. Initially in the Colts initially, and then he went straight through to the Cup. But the other, there's in grand finals all up 2009, 2010, back to back, which was good. And 2013, and we were runners up in 2016. That's for the Colts.
Yeah.
Challenge Cup. But as I say, a lot of that, we had some good players, as we do this year in the Colts. It's just interesting to see, as a manager, it's interesting to see the dynamics in a shed between the coaches. Your style was, different to Goffey's and different to Churchy's and that sort of stuff. So you learn.
You mentioned, Kev, about the players that you've, Dave Tyrrell, for instance. Tell us about some of the players that you've seen come through the club and gone on to bigger and better things.
Yeah, in more recent times, we've had quite a few debutants this year in the Cup, and they've come from the Hastings Deering Colts team. Joey Gilmore is one to name. Zach Tybee is another. And Solomona Faataape have been. They've all been outstanding in their debuts. And it's a learning curve. And fortunately, the squad that we've got has a degree of experience. And they've all been happy to, share their knowledge with these young blokes, and they can only grow as a result. So we're bound to be debuting more at some stage. But given our injury woes, that's one of the best parts of being involved, and frankly, it's one of the best parts of being a manager of the Colt side. Because now I'm with the seniors, so I'm talking to experienced, players with NRL experience and general Intrust Super Cup experience. With the Colts, you can see the kids grow, and that's really pleasing.
Yeah, that's wonderful, Kev. So besides that, what do you enjoy most about game day as such? I mean, you're busy. You give me a little story just before that you woke up in the cold sweat 2 o'clock the night after the game. It's a mental checklist that I have, and I try to stick to it. My wife Kath would have some comments about that, but it's trying to coordinate not only the players getting prepared and as hassle-free as possible, but I pride myself on having a lot of interaction with the medical staff, the doctor and the physios. Bonnie McRae is our club doctor, and she's great. And we've got 3 physios that Kathy and Bianca and Sam that share the duties on game days and/or travel. And I think it's important because I'm fairly big on player welfare, so it's important for me to know where they're at with their treatments, and that they go and get them done. You mentioned your wife and your 2 daughters earlier. Obviously, behind every good man there's a good woman. You've been involved in typically with rugby league, you get involved and you get heavily involved. So, you spend a fair bit of time away from home. How has that all worked with your family?
Well, my daughters are one, and her family are interstate in Adelaide. And my eldest daughter, the youngest one's up here with a couple of. My youngest daughter's in Adelaide, and the other one's up here with a couple of youngsters, 5 and 7. So I'm keen to get them involved in team sport generally, not only rugby league. But Kath's she's been very understanding, I can assure you. And since my retirement a couple of years ago now, 2019, September, I often say I don't know how I had time to go to work to start with, because that's the way it works.
A life member of the club, that was a great honour bestowed on you as well?
Yeah, absolutely. I was thrilled to bits with that. It's not something that you expect, and I'm in pretty good company when I look down the list. So it's as long as I can keep that asterisk away from my name, I'll be happy.
We know what the asterisk is. Look, Kev, it's well deserved. I was involved with you down here for 3 or 4 years during those Colts years, and you were nothing but a true gentleman and a great person as well to bounce things off and just have conversations with. I really appreciate your time here this afternoon. Have you got anything else that springs to mind that you want to pop in and let us know about?
No, I think the unheralded people are a lot of the support staff. The strappers, the trainers, the on-field staff. They do a terrific job. We don't always agree on certain things. Sideline antics and things like that. But it's they're the people that make the whole place go round, and really that's what's the base of a good club. And my view is this is a good club.
One other thing, just quickly, in your retirement, obviously heavily involved down here at the club. What else do you do in the little spare time that you have left over?
Well, Kath would like to see me do a lot more around the house, which I promised her when I retired I would do. So we just have to wait for summer.
Summer never comes?
No, it's coming.
Did you follow the winter around the world, do you?
No, it's coming. But she's been terrific, and there are moments, but in every relationship there are moments.
Of course, yeah.
But it's, I do manage to. I figure if I just do what you asked me to do, she'll be happy and allow me to continue doing what I'm doing.
Do as I say, not as I do.
Yeah, well, yeah, a bit of that.
Good on you, Kev. Look, thank you very much for joining us here on League and More. Really appreciate your time this afternoon. Hopefully the Tigers, although they're struggling a little bit at the moment, can kick on in the second half of the season and get into another final series, and who knows, another premiership just around the corner.
That'd be great. Yeah, I think positive attitude's the way to go.
Absolutely.
Right.
Good on you, Kev. Thank you very much.
All right, mate, a bit of fun there. The tough questions. I've got one more for you before you finish your course here. But this weekend up against the Seagulls, the Colts go up against Townsville. They go up there and they haven't played them yet, so they want to try and maintain their second spot on the ladder. And Carina have a bye this weekend in the feeder club down there, but we'll see how they go. But yeah, it's going to be a tough afternoon at Cougar Oval, but never say never.
Yeah, no, absolutely not. You know, I think they're a chance. I'm interested in the Colts result as well. I think that's second versus third up there in Townsville. So, yeah, it should be a good weekend of footy.
Mark Hughes Foundation's on this weekend. You can go and get yourself a beanie here for brain cancer. So get around there. It's an initiative by the NRL. So please get out there and get yourself a beanie you need in this cool weather. As I mentioned before you sign off, mate, here's one last tough question.
Another one?
Yeah, mate. How far east do you have to travel before you're going west? Leave that with you. Back next week.